What's up, guys? Day number 46 is here. It's time to go. Let's get into it. Day number 46, we got to get moving. 1862, I want to break 1900 today. I have a goal and a dream, and that dream is to break 1900.
I want to pay 23. We're going over 2 million. They sell Cavani, and they come in with a bigger offer, and he's gone.
I'm really liking the Alekhine. The Alekhine is a very spicy opening. I should probably study the theory, though. Is he going to play c5? No c5. d5 looks like a really spicy move. d5, he plays c5, knight d7, d4, b6. That is a truly wild position. I'm going to go for it, though. This is going to really... Chaos is going to ensue. That's what I'm going for here. I'm going for chaos. He plays d3. That can't be good. You play d3. Like I said before, if you're playing against the Alekhine, if you're playing against the Alekhine, you can't expand this far and then just accept a trade of queens. It's not going to go well for you. So you're going to play f4? f4 would actually make a lot of sense. But f4 will play bishop f5 and castles. Let's start with check. I'm going to castle queenside with another check. Very nice position here. Yeah, day number 46. We're at 1860. Probably will break 1900 today. I'm no fortune teller, but I predict it's going to happen. So then we'll be 600 points from 2,500. Yeah, the speedrun. The speedrun is a quest. It's a trek to the ends of the earth. Knight d2, bishop d3. I could always play e6, bishop c5. One of the big problems in the Alekhine is just that this knight is misplaced. Everything about the Alekhine makes complete sense. So I should be looking for a way to improve this knight and engage it in the board. Maybe something like knight d7 followed by knight c5.
We're waiting.
All right. Yeah, let's just play e6 here. His pieces are so uncomfortable. Look at that. He can't even develop to the normal square because that would drop this pawn here. Yeah, already knight d4 introduces real turmoil into the position. Okay, so I have several moves here. Simplest is just takes. I could already take this pawn because if he takes back, I take this. But we want to dominate his position, right? So let's play bishop c5. This is a classic idea. You're going to see this a lot. When they push a bishop pawn, install the bishop right in front of it. I talk about this a lot in my intuition course. Pretty much, yeah, when he puts a pawn here, now it's going to be blocking his bishop completely. His bishop does not have any prospects. And not only that, because he pushed this pawn up, he's not even safeguarding the square with the pawn from c2. So his bishop has almost no opportunities now. Combine that with the fact that his knight is blocked out of the normal golden square here and instead has to go here. I would assume his position is already losing. It's really bad. And it's really time to go.
I mean, we know Liverpool are not going to sell to us, and they're conning the fans. They're conning the fans.
It's time to go. Let's go. g4, let's throw in a check. It's checking time. Goes there. This is just an unmitigated disaster for him. I think... How are we going to do this? I think if I check here, yeah, I'm going to pick up a piece. And yeah, the whole thing here... Oh, I could have also checked this way. That would have also been strong. But yeah, the whole thing here is takes. This knight is going to be hanging. This position is just a disaster for him. Can we start by throwing in a check? Is the check better or worse? What is happening here? This is so close to being mate. I always want to go for checkmates. Of course, we could just take the knight and be happy, but I want to... Is there any way to checkmate here? Like bishop d2, king e4. Bishop d2, king e4, then I play knight d7, and that is mate. But the problem here is... On bishop d2, he just plays king f2. I sort of want to get the nice checkmate, though. I'm always a sucker for these really cool checkmates. All right, let me just take the knight. Let's keep it simple. Taking the knight, really can't be anything wrong with this. He'll play bishop h3, finally get a piece out. We're going to throw in a check. It's still a disaster. This knight cannot get out here. There is no plan of action for him, and I'm just going to do this and pick up another piece. Yeah, the Alekhine is really taking a lot of victims. The Alekhine is working so much better. Yeah, honestly, this might be insightful for you guys. The Alekhine is just rampaging these 1800s. People are getting way too aggressive. People just overexpand. They gotta be calm. You gotta be, like, even when I'm thinking about my games as white when I play King Pawn, the Alekhine is a very annoying system because you need to be very careful about how much space you take on. If you take on a little too much space, things can go bad really quickly. All right, nice. Let's go for it. 1870. What flag is that? What flag is that? Okay, we'll go for another Alekhine. Is that Lesotho? I feel that has to be one of those small African countries. Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is a big African country. My apologies. Any viewers from Zimbabwe? Bishop c4. I think this is a mistake already because we can take here. He has to play bishop d3. I said it once and I'll say it again. If you play against the Alekhine, you cannot allow black to just trade the queens. If black trades the queens, you're going to be worse. Queen h5. Sneaky guy. Sneaky guy. He wants to go for the checkmate. This guy is crafty. We're going to play e6 here. His bishop is locked down, unfortunately, but to his credit, he has stopped me from trading the queens. So he's got that going for him. And that's something. I want to trap the bishop. If he takes here, I'm going to play a5 and a4. Let's play a5. It's time to go. He plays a3. Well, I'm just going to burrow his bishop in. His bishop is getting worse and worse. His bishop is becoming more and more useless. Let's play knight c6. If knight f3, then he blocks his queen's channels, and I'm thinking I could play g6 then. Could also even try knight d4. What about knight d4? Is knight d4 good? Could I play rook a5 there? Rook a5 is a wild move. I'm not going to give him any hints of it. I'm going to play g6 first, but we are going to go rook a5. We're hunting down the e-pawn. It's time to go. This guy is playing very creatively. Big shout out to Marshall Chaturera. Bruv is playing very creatively. Queen h5, what a move. Queen h3, we're playing rook a5 anyway, man. It's time to go. I gotta get my rook out. He could play bishop d2, though. Bishop d2 is some spicy action. Bishop d2, I play rook b5. What a game. He could try bishop g5. Honestly, after bishop g5, half of me wants to just take and sack the queen and then take here, and we're getting a lot of material. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. That position is going to be insane. I don't care. Maybe technically black is a little bit worse there. That's going to be such a wild position. All right, well, now he's really indulging me because if I play g5, I get the position I was talking about before. I'm deliberately sacking a pawn to do so. Probably, I'm trying to keep this speedrun instructive, so I'm not going to do it, but g5 would be a really cool move. That would definitely be my choice if I wasn't focused on winning rating and climbing the rating scale. Let's play knight d4 instead. Just threatening to take here. If he castles, we have knight e2. His queen is really off sides here. And if he takes, we take back with the queen. We're hitting the bishop and pawn. He's in a lot of trouble. All right, takes, queen takes. Definitely nothing to complain about here. Queen c3 is his last chance, but then I take, he takes my rook. I could check and take his rook. Yeah, this is too much. He could also try bishop c1, but that wouldn't be good. We're going to take this rook a5 move. What a move. I'm really loving the Alekhine. The Alekhine is legitimately turning into like my favorite system. Yeah, I'm gonna do some research on Chessable. Like at the moment, I already sort of have this course in the works for what I'm gonna recommend versus King Pawn. But my positions, these games I have in the Alekhine now are so exciting. I think they've already done a lifetime repertoire in the Alekhine though. But I don't know though, like at the same time, These positions are so exciting. I'm really loving the Alekhine. Bishop d2, that can't work. Let's take here with a check. He's going to go king d1. We're going to take again. I'm going to keep picking up the pawns. Well, if I pick up the pawns, he plays bishop c3, and all of a sudden I'm in the dragon's den. He has to try king d1 here. King f1 is not going to work. I guess he could try king f1, actually. What am I talking about? But king f1, we play bishop d7, bishop b5. Yeah, let's play bishop d7, bishop b5. Still cannot move a muscle here. If he plays knight c3, that drops the bishop. Meanwhile, we're going to play bishop b5. What an insane position. Completely. Maybe I should have played bishop c5 there and just threatened mate. Why didn't I play bishop c5 first? Bishop c5 would have asked him immediate questions. It's always good to ask your opponent questions. Bishop c5 asks the question of how he's going to defend this. He could choose between g3, f3, or e3. And it's not obvious at all which is the right square. Queen f3 runs into rook f5. Yeah, I'm really loving the Alekhine. Right, he goes queen c3. Let's start with a check. Let's start with the check. Do we have anything here? I don't want to trade the queens. Definitely do not want to trade the queens. Notice actually he has no method now to develop. He has no immediate method to develop because because he occupied that square. But where do we go here? Can we play queen e4? Yeah, let's try queen e4. Gonna go queen e2 and try to checkmate. Another idea is bishop c6. Queen takes c7 could also work, but no, then we just play queen e1. This is an unmitigated disaster for him. What a clump. The classic clump. This bishop is just completely shackled here. I'm loving the Alekhine. Like, he's played very natural looking moves, and he's just completely in the firing line here. Let's play bishop c6. Start with this. Zoom in on the pawn. He should try f3, but then that weakens new squares. That weakens the second rank. f3, we could try queen e2. This looks like a disaster. Looks like a complete disaster here. If he plays king h2, we just line up some more. And again, because these pieces are occupying the squares, how can he get out? Very simple threat here. I have bishop c5. I also have bishop f3. This is looking very bad for him. Okay, bishop f4. We'll start with a check. Has to go king h2. And then I'm just going to take... Oh, I can't take on f3. I can't take on f3. I thought I could take on f3. I can't take on f3. Takes on f3, he takes with the queen. I just missed that. Fortunately, we can play bishop d6. What is happening here? He could play. He's going to play knight d2. I think I let the position slip out of my grasp. But knight d2... Do I have rook g5 there? Rook g5, he takes here, and then I play king d7. I'm down a rook in that position, but what can he do there? I'm threatening mate in 1. What is he going to do in that position? Knight d2, rook g5, he takes. I play king d7. He could take here with check. Take there with check is actually tricky. I could take with the queen, though, at least. And if he takes here, I take. And I'm going to take here. I'm forcing his king out as well, because his king, if he blocks it all, I can just take. So he would have to go back to g1, discoordinating his rooks. Yeah, this is wild. I need to be very careful. Okay, that doesn't work. There's no way that could work here, because now this is just the same position up a really clear tempo. Yeah, let's just play rook g5. I don't even care. If he takes this, I'll play king d7. He gets a rook, but that's it. That's the end of the line. His queen is completely disconnected, and there are like 20 pieces now firing at him on all cylinders. He could take, I take, but then he starts checking. That's a little tricky. If he takes, I think I should take this way. Yeah, he doesn't have a check there. Queen e8 is covered, queen c8 is covered, queen e5 is covered, queen f6 is covered. Rook e1 I could just take there because there's a pin. Wild position here. f4? No, then this is mate though. That's wonderful. Really nice game there. All right, and more good news. How many blacks am I gonna get? Are you kidding me? I literally started with 2 Alekhines. All right, we're gonna go with the corollary to the Alekhine, which is the 2 Knights Tango. The 2 Knights Tango is a very funny opening. Let's play E5 here. I really like the 2 Knights Tango. What a wild position. I want to be clear, everyone. This speed run is for you to learn the bird. Do not try the 2 Knights Tango at home. It's not going to go well. It's a very dangerous system. You need to be very careful about how you employ it. It can work wonders. It can work swimmingly, but you need to make sure to I don't even know. I was going to say something silly, but I don't know. I don't know if the pun makes any sense. Knight d2, okay, let's castle. Knight f3, we could just play queen e7. Yeah, we're getting closer. We're getting very close to 1900. Queen h5, gonna play b6 and bishop b7. The fact that Mr. Specialist has not played e4, he's gonna really be suffering with this bishop here. He goes there. Well, the knight doesn't have anything to do though. He plays knight d4, I'm just gonna go back and say peekaboo, because I'm threatening this again. Yeah, it's a surprisingly interesting amount of pressure these 2 bishops exercise, right? Because I haven't pushed d5, so that's what makes this position unusual. I have not pushed d5 here, and for that matter, my bishop is not blocked, and that makes an enormous difference in terms of the pressure levied by these bishops. Very nice position here. Knight d4. I could also play queen h6. I could also play queen h4. I could play a lot of things. Let's just play queen e5 though. g3, that shan't work. We're gonna play bishop b7. He's going there. I don't know. I don't really believe in this position. Something's got to give here. Let's play knight e4. I'm going to try knight g5 stuff. He plays knight f3. I can play knight g5, which is really cool because knight takes, I have mate. That's a really sneaky trick, actually. If he plays knight f3, I think I'm going to respond immediately with this, so he'll think it's a blunder. He's not going to think it's premeditated. I'm really waiting for him to play f4. If he ever plays f4 in this position, his e-pawn becomes fatally weak. It becomes almost a strategically lost position if I have an open e-file and he pushes his f-pawn. It's just too much pressure. All right, there we go. So yeah, he is going to definitely suffer now. We got to be careful though. If we play queen e7, he plays knight f5. What is the plan here? Let's play queen d5. Play rook e8. Knight e2. Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble here. I want to keep this bishop. Well, now this bishop is completely useless. It's completely toothless, pointed into this f4 pawn. We're going to transfer it over to c5. Do I need to be worried about b4 though? No, b4 would create new weaknesses, but if I was, I would play a5 and then play bishop c5. I hope y'all are taking notes. This is a real strategic masterclass we're putting on today. All right, bishop c5. These bishops are putting enormous pressure. Maybe he could try b4. Yeah, I should play a5 soon enough because b4 would be a little bit annoying. The whole problem with his setup now, though, just to give you guys some insight, is if he ever plays b4 and c4, you know what? He pushes my pieces back. It looks like he corrects his bishop. But the latent problem in this position is that if he ever achieves actually getting anything for this bishop, it's going to lead to an even weaker e-pawn. So that's the big problem in these positions. Let's just play queen d6 here. I still have coverage over the knight. Very uncomfortable position at the moment. Knight b5, we can transfer the queen over to g6. Yeah, it's really time to go here. It's really time to go.
FTV Claude, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked.
It's time to go!
Yeah, the simple way to pressure this position, I need to just play queen g6 so that there's no knight f5 trick and then double on the e-file. And at some point I'm going to remove the knight, and then some of these weaknesses on the e file are just going to be too much to bear. Namely the e3 pawn. Knight b5 is interesting. On knight b5, let's play queen c6. Keep everything under control. If he plays knight d4, then I'll swap the queen over to g6. I had to keep hold of the c7 pawn though, for the moment. Gotta keep hold of the c7 pawn, you know what I mean? C7 pawn is very tricky. I would bet he's going to try knight d4, queen g6, and then to move the knight back, but then I can play knight g5. I have a cool trick there. The idea is his queen trades, but I can first take the bishop, he takes back, I take, and I've gotten his one great piece, namely the light squared bishop on f3. All right, here, a3, should we play a6? He plays a3, a6, just play a5. I want to keep my bishop protected. I didn't like that after a6 he could play b4. Still no tricks. Knight c3. Knight c3 is very cheeky. I need to be very careful about knight c3. Knight c3 would be a great idea on his part. Knight c3, I think I have to play queen g6, and the idea is after we trade everything, he has not fixed the weaknesses on the e-file. Knight c3 is by far the best move though, because the thing is that if I play f5, he takes, I would have to take with the pawn, thereby blocking any pressure I have on the e-file, and giving him a fine position. Yeah, knight c3, I think well, queen g6 is tricky, because then he plays f5, takes, and he takes there. And his rook is attacking my queen, but no, then I take with the bishop. Yeah, that survives. Rook e1, that can't be good. I'm just going to slowly assert domination on the e-file. This is particularly why this pawn is so weak, right? Because I'm able to keep complete control over it. He cannot push the pawn up. That's one of the most principal characteristics of a weakness. It's a target, and it's also immovable. It's not able to move. If a pawn satisfies those two characteristics, then it is a weakness. If the pawn can move, then how could it be weak? Because it can move. He can just move to another square. Unbelievably tough position for him at the moment. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this pressure. Long term, I would like to move this queen out of the way, but I'm waiting for the right moment, and for the moment I can just keep improving my position. All right, here we'll play queen g6. He could try knight d5, but we'll just trade, and he has not rectified the situation. As long as I keep this pawn on e3 disconnected from the pawn on d5, he has enormous problems still. Knight g5 is becoming very strong, because if he takes, I can take here with a check. Yeah, there's starting to be some problems here. Knight g5, he takes, I take with check, then I just take back. Great position here. Knight e2, okay, now we got the tactic though. Beautiful, knight g5. Queen is hit. Bishop is also hit. Everything is hanging in this position. Literally like 5 pieces are hanging here. Okay, he's taken there. I'm taken there. It's time to go. Wonderful. 1886. Let's keep it moving. 1886. I want to finish. Okay, finally we get some white games. Is that the Marshall? Yeah, that's the New York Marshalls. Nice. That's my chess club. Kudos to this guy from Croatia. Ilvek 2007. We got the classic bird. Bishop b5. The classic pin for the classic bird. e6. So from what I remember, we could definitely play knight d4 and attack this. There's no point though, we'll just castle first. The bishop doesn't really do anything on f5, so we just have a favorable version of everything. We don't need to play any particular system against this. Probably I should have taken on c6. Yeah, that was silly of me. I should have definitely taken on c6 first before doing anything else. Let's play bishop e2 now. I'm going to just play c4 and d4. Maybe he could play d4 immediately though. All right, now I have to play d4 because d4 would have been annoying there. d4, c4, got the classic Irish stonewall. A lot of discomfort in the black position at the moment. c5 is weighing down like a 20 kilo weight. I got some cookies in the kitchen. I also have some grapes. I should go eat some grapes. I'm starving. Had a steak for lunch, but it's been like 7 hours since lunch. It's time to go. Queen b4. We have bishop c3, bishop a3. Both of these look good. Let's play bishop a3, actually. The queen, look at that. The queen has to occupy the square and then c5 wins. Yeah, uncomfortable position for him. Queen a5, c5. He'll play knight d5, attack e3. Then I play queen c1 just to maintain e3. No tricks, no traps, no zips, and no zaps. He's taken there. Oh, I didn't see that. That's a good move. I completely missed that. I completely missed that move. All right, if I take here, I'm losing 2 pawns. I'd rather play queen c1 and just lose 1 pawn. I completely missed that move. Queen c1 is a really nice move, though, because if I lose this bishop, I lose... Everything is starting to hang there. He takes, I'll take. All right, so I lost a pawn, but I keep the bishop pair. I keep the bishop pair. His queen stays in a relatively uncomfortable position. Certainly not the end of the world. I should remember, though, that this bishop exists, though. I should not play rook b1 here. Let's play knight h4. I want to get this bishop. Give me that bishop. Oh, he could just play bishop e4. That was silly. That was very silly of me. If he doesn't play bishop e4, then my move makes sense. But if he plays bishop e4, my move made no sense there. White has a lot of compensation. I don't think this is a particularly bad position here, though. Yeah, bishop e1 was a big oversight. All right, nice, perfect. If I'm able to take the bishop pair, yeah, white has full compensation now. Well, how are we going to do this? Rook b1. This knight is really misplaced here. Let's play rook b1. If b6, we play bishop a3. Knight is under a lot of pressure here. Also, bishop f3. Yeah, actually, that's better. Look at that. b6, bishop f3. We're going to take here and threaten these two. A wonderful fork. All right. Black can snatch all the pawns in the world. It's not going to matter. I think already I could have trapped his queen. Why didn't I do that? If I just played bishop c4, queen a4, rook a1, his queen is trapped. White still has enormous pressure, though. White has enormous pressure here. b6, we could play rook a1, queen b3, rook a3, queen b5. No, what am I talking about? b6, just take the knight. Just take the knight and be happy. I am so hungry. I got a lot of food in the kitchen, though. My hunger will be abated very shortly. I want to break 1900, though, but I guess we'll end on this game. It's been long enough. These games are taking longer, after all. It's time to go. It really is time to go. Yeah, white has enormous compensation here, suffice it to say. These bishops put so much pressure on the position. I'm down 2 pawns, but my impressive structure actually gives me control of the position here. Surprising. Another threat is just queen c3 and then rook a1. That would trap the queen. For instance, if he were to play rook b8, of course I could take and get a pawn back, get a lot of compensation, but yeah, rook b8, I think queen c3. I'm just threatening rook a1. What would he even do there? What would black ever do in that position? That's tricky. It's too tricky. And it's time to go. Let's play rook f2 also. Too many ideas in this position. Knight h4. Knight h4 is a sneaky move. Black wants to take on g2 with checkmate. Let's play bishop e4. Bishop e4. I want to trap the queen, but the problem is that if I move this, then yeah, takes on f3 is going to happen too soon. Takes. Here now we have time for rook a1. Rook a1, queen b3, rook a3, queen b5, and bishop d3, and that's trapped. It's over, pal. It's time to go. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Black could take here. Queen e2. Queen is getting out this way. The queen is getting out that way. Oh, rats. The queen is getting out. That's really frustrating. I didn't want the queen to get out. I really didn't want the queen to get out. I completely missed that move. I should have played rook b2 first. We have rook f2 here though. Queen g4. I would venture to say white is still better here. We're going to take and then take here on a7. I'm getting a pawn. These pieces are actually useless here. These pawns still form a really nice center. His knight needs to be on e4 for him to have good play here. Instead though, I'm just going to start picking up the apples. Life is about picking up the apples. Knight f3 does not work here. Meanwhile, this knight is literally like 10 moves away from getting to e4. Black would have to play g6, e7, d5, f6, e4. That's 6 moves. 5 moves. Such a struggle. Meanwhile, c7 is weak, c6 is weak, e6 is weak. It's time to go.
Fantastically.
Time to go.
Match of the day. Why you? No, don't
It's
interrupt.
time to go.
Don't interrupt me.
It's time to go.
Don't interrupt. Look at you. Can't even
It's time
speak.
to go.
You can't even speak before.
It's time to go.
I've had too much coffee today. This is like my 5th coffee. Body is pumping with caffeine. Rook c8, I do not understand that move at all. Just going to take on c6. And this is not healthy. e6 is very weak here. Queen g6, I have g3, and then the knight is almost trapped. Yeah, queen g6, g3, I'm just planning king h1. The knight is going to be trapped then. All of his pieces are sort of paralyzed here. Very uncomfortable position. It's all based on the fact that this knight is misplaced. If his knight were on e4, my rook would feel uncomfortable. He'd be able to start squeaking in with his queen. Here, on the other hand, this is just a disaster for him. It's time to go. Rook b8. Rook b8 is a sneaky move. Rook b8 is a very sneaky move. What is black threatening in this position? I guess he wants me to take and then rook f1 and then there might be something, but I don't see it. There could be a trade on f1, but then queen d1, king f2, even that doesn't really work. But we would still prefer to avoid that if possible. Take on e6 definitely possible, but take on e6, king h8. What is the plan there? Yeah, what is the plan in that position? Maybe should I just play h3? I like g3 a lot. Rook a2 actually looks very good. What does he do after rook a2? Yeah, I'm at a loss for what he's going to do here. Well, that happens, but I take. My queen is still defending this. It's about overprotection. Okay. Black drops the queen. It's time to go. It's over. It's over. We're going up. We're going all the way up. This speedrun is going to take so long. We're at the point now where we're only getting 30 points an episode. This speedrun is going to take forever. Definitely facing much tougher opposition than before, though. We're waiting. We're waiting here. All right, yeah, and abandon. Disrespectful. Very disrespectful. I don't understand this. Just click resign before closing your computer. Before smashing your computer against your desk, just click the resign button. It's not that hard. All right, we are 1894. We're going to stop here. Of course, we're on the cusp of 1900. I'm very tired. I'm very hungry. It's time to go.